What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Before we get started, make sure you like and subscribe. And we have something brand new here, the new GMWD FIDV8, which is the updated version of the older 3-in-1 V7, which I had for a good period of time, was able to put it through its paces, and now I have the V8 that I've just sort of started putting through its paces, and I can give good comparisons between the two of them and talk about this new machine. So GMWD set out to improve this machine. I mean, we're talking about a V8 now. They've had a lot of different machines, a lot of different experiences trying to improve these machines. This is the best one I've used so far. It really does improve a lot off of the V7, and we'll go through that. The first thing I want to talk about is the improved build quality. This is using a 3x3 12 gauge steel, whereas the other was just some like 2x2, I don't even know all the particulars of it, but just building the machine, you could feel right away how substantially improved the support is on the machine, the framing of the machine, everything just feels better overall compared to the old machine. They've increased the weight. Before, I believe you could do like 150 pounds. Now they're saying 300 pounds. I'm actually gonna grab my phone so I can run through that for you so I don't tell you anything wrong. Yeah, 2x2 steel versus 3x3. The machine weight, 155 pounds is the total built weight of the V7. The V8, 260 pounds. I can attest to this because I normally drag stuff into my basement myself, and I had someone come help me bring the bench downstairs so I didn't fall and ultimately not be able to make this video because I'd be injured. So the bench itself, even just, it comes already put together, so it's heavy. You know, you could feel the weight difference between the two of them. The weight capacity on here, the V7 was 300 pounds total, 150 per arm. The V8 is 600 pounds total, 300 per arm. That's a lot of weight, okay? I mean, I wasn't capping out 150 per arm on the older one, but this one, first of all, when I was doing flat bench, and I'll get to it, unless I'm getting weaker, it did feel a little heavier too. So the motions are different, and now we have a higher weight capacity at 300 per arm, which is pretty awesome considering the improved build quality. So let's see, what else do we have here? Grip angle, so the prior had the 3 handles. This has rotating handles with 9, I believe. Oh, they say 12 angle dial grip. There must be in-betweens. Yeah, there are certain numbers on them already, and then I guess they're counting the in-betweens on them. Really nice to be able to change the grip while you're lifting. You just press a button, you could do it. You don't have to like get up and start changing stuff. You could do it from the seated position. With the handle upgrade, I found there to be a substantially better motion in the actual pressing motion. When I used the V7, you know, sometimes I felt like it was almost a little too close because I have bad shoulders. I'd be using the inner grips a lot, and the converging motion sometimes just didn't always feel as good as it could be. This has really improved that. This machine at the grips that I was using feels wider than the old machine, feels really natural. My shoulders actually, even though the other one didn't hurt my shoulders, it just felt a little healthier with this machine versus the V7, which is still a good machine, but this is obviously better. Now, one caveat to the rotating handles, if you rotate them all the way inward and you start pressing, they will hit each other. So I mean, not every position is available in every position that you're benching in. That's something to keep in mind. You're mostly probably gonna keep them on the outer settings. The bench itself, they improved the padding pretty substantially. It's like a nice firm pad, feels good. The seat itself is adjustable, you can see, which is nice because a lot of people complained with the V7 that you couldn't independently adjust the seat. So now you have independent adjustability on the seat. The genius thing about this machine is the bearing rail system for the seat. Because with the V7, especially in the shoulder press position, you kind of felt like you were trapped, right, in a certain position on the machine. The rails allow you to get a perfect seated position. You can make micro adjustments to make sure you're in the right position to the handles so that the motion feels, you know, more natural. The one thing that I will say about that is that there's so much adjustability on this machine, you're gonna forget where you left your settings for each workout, because the back, the arms that adjust up and down, I think there's like 21 different positions that it can go into. And then on the seat, the railing shows, you know, like there's a number 21 down there. So there's so many different positions that you're gonna be able to go into that I think that you're really gonna be doing adjustments while you're lifting to make sure you're getting the proper range of motion, compared to just being like, oh, I was on number 15 and number 17 on that lift. I'll write that down in my book. But so, and then once you adjust the seat with it too, that could change the positions of everything, because if you're on the highest incline for the seat versus the middle or the low, it pushes you up and down where you are on the bench. You're gonna have to adjust the other things. But thankfully, we have so many adjustment positions available, you'll really be able to fine tune this machine. I also think it's gonna help people depending on their height, since you can sort of use the adjustability of the bench and the seat to sort of improve, or you know, the range of motion, and also change sort of where the positionings are, so that people can really micro adjust it depending on their bodies, which is nice. One of the first things I noticed when I started using is the machine's really smooth. Like the motion of the press felt smoother than I remember the V7 being. And I only got rid of my V7 2 weeks ago, maybe it was. I'm trying to think. So I was using that machine up until I sold it on Facebook Marketplace and got this machine this past week. So I have a good recall in my mind of what that machine felt like. And the biggest takeaways that I feel that I remember from that machine versus this machine, obviously besides all the adjustability, everything else, the improvement with being able to change the handles drastically changed the range of motion and width of the press. So I feel like it's more converging now for me, because when I'm doing my motions prior, the handles were sort of almost a little too narrow for me, because I was, with my bad shoulders, only using like the inside grips. Now this gives me the ability to adjust the grips and get a wider range of motion, and the motion feels much smoother than it did on the V7. So props to GMWD for improving that. Right off the bat too, we talked about the frame. It's different. It's a different construction, 3x3. The old V7, the way that the frame went together, you could just tell the structural difference between the two of them just by the design, right? Because this has the 2 feet on the bottom are attaching to the frame, whereas before there was like a bracket that had to go in the middle and all these different sort of, I don't want to say failure points, because I never felt like the machine was going to fail, but you just get better structural rigidity with the way that this machine is designed compared to the old machine. Now, getting to one of the, I don't want to say failures, but letdowns with the V7, which was the shoulder press, right? I thought it was a really good flat and incline press machine, but it was weak on the shoulder press. I think that's resolved with this machine, because you're able to adjust the bench forward and backwards while you're doing the shoulder press to really fine tune the motion and sort of the range of everything. Because when you were doing it before, you felt like you were a little behind the machine, which sucked, right? It kind of felt like you had to, you know, finagle where your hands were on the handles. But with this, since you could slide the bench forward and backwards, you get a nice shoulder press motion. And since you could adjust the handles, you could really fine tune it. I felt like the shoulder press was so much more improved compared to the V7. Now, this also has a decline bench feature, but what I'm gonna say is that the decline on this machine, in my opinion so far, just testing it, because I'm gonna have to do a follow-up review, right? This is my initial. Doing the decline bench, there's a weakness to the decline bench compared to the rest of the machine. The flat, all the incline positions, the shoulder press, very good. The decline, depending on you as a person, this is gonna be somewhat dependent, right? You might not be able to get a full stretched range of motion all the way at the bottom. Because when I was doing the decline, if you watch in the clip, you could kind of see I was hitting the stops to get as much motion as I could. So the arms don't go down enough in a full decline position. For some people, I'll say some people, because if you're just a bigger person overall, it may not be as big of a deal. But that's something to keep in mind. I think that people will be using this machine less for the decline. I think that having it available to you is awesome, being able to do it, because I don't set up a lot of decline bench just because the time it takes for me to change all my pins on my setup for that, it's just a pain. So now being able to sort of throw it in there from time to time is a nice feature, but I have to know that, you know, it's not gonna be as good as some other, you know, decline machines. I felt on the flat bench, and unless I'm just completely off my game, I felt like it was a little heavier for me on the flat than it was on the V7. That may also be because with the handle change and everything, it's a wider movement, and maybe I just can't push as much weight with such a wide movement, even though maybe that doesn't make sense, you know, when you talk about wide versus narrow grip bench. So these are all my thoughts, sort of just as they come to mind, finishing up workouts with this machine. Obviously, like I've done before in the past, I'm gonna jump in and do like a full review of the machine later on as I've used it more, make sure nothing's changed, make sure, you know, as I come across things that I think can be improved. Oh, you also saw me do shrugs on the machine. They work way better than they do on the V7. The V7, you had to be afraid that the machine was gonna flip and you had to put a plate on the bottom. Putting 2 plates on each side on this machine didn't feel like that at all. Going forward beyond that, maybe with more weight, it might run into that issue, but I also think because of the new design of everything, it's just more substantially supported that maybe you don't have to wait as, you know, worry as much about the machine flipping, but do it at your own risk. I'll say that as always. I'm really happy GMWD sent this machine out to me. I did not pay for this machine. I always want to be upfront with you guys about that. The price on this machine has gone up. This is over, I think, $1,000 now for this machine. So do I think it's worth it? Yes. I want to see GMWD re-releasing all versions of their machines, the pendulum squat, the belt squat, you know, all these pieces of equipment. I want to see them released with the new 3x3 construction, whatever factory they're using now. I'm giving them a thumbs up. Their new LE11 looks really cool too, really good looking leg extension. People often ask about how the machines are packaged. Packaging on this machine was really good. I will say to the point where I looked out my front window when the guy was delivering it, and I had to go outside because he was flipping the box on my grass side over side. And I'm like, what's going on, dude? And everything in that box at least was fine. That was actually the box with the bench in it, and everything seemed okay. But if you guys have questions, let me know. I'll be going over this. I'll be following up and doing another review on it because I really want to make sure I cover everything and not just be like, oh, the honeymoon phase, everything is phenomenal, there's no issues with this machine. That's not fair. So I will revisit it after I get more workouts in, but my initial impressions on this machine are really solid, really good machine. Anything I would change, I'm not sure yet. There's gotta be maybe a way to keep track better of all the adjustability because you have so much. But other than that, it's a killer machine with a killer color. It's the first time I don't have something that's like black or red in here. And when I saw it, I was like, all right, it's time to change it up a little. But all right, if you guys have questions again, make sure you drop them below. Make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.